Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be doing a massive book haul, which is basically every book I bought at Kinokuniya today in the city. So I went there today and it is an absolutely giant bookshop. It is about 11 it's about 11 shops all in one, and it has literally everything you can ever imagine. It's got audiobooks, it's got Magna, I think that's how you say it, photography books, art supplies, wildlife, architecture. It literally has every single genre of book you could ever imagine. So I went today and I came away with 11 books. So I thought I would show you all those books. And if I know, I'm going to try and give you a brief description of the book. If I know what they're about. If I don't know what they're about, I'm just going to try and give you a brief summary based on the blurb. And also I'm going to make a disclaimer. This might potentially be a long video. So I hope you guys enjoy longer videos. I know that some people don't like longer videos because there's just a person sitting there rambling on, or they're like talking about nothing that's related to it. But I really love longer videos. See, I'm talking now, I'm rambling. Anyway, so I'm gonna get started. So the first book I have here is this one by Rachel Hartman, and this is called In the Serpents Wake. And this just looks like a really cool book. I love the kind of purple essence of it because I love purple, as you see my ring's purple. Basically what this book is about from the description, and I haven't researched this, so I'm just going to give you a brief description. At the bottom of the world there lies a serpent, the last of its kind, and finding the serpent will change your life. So it's basically a quest to find this snake, and we're following the journey of 4 characters. We have Tess, we have Spira, we have Marja, and Giacomo. I think that's how you say their name. Tess is on a mission to save her friend. Spira is a dragon who wants a new identity. Marja is an explorer, and Giacomo is a priest. But there are those who would give their life to keep the serpent hidden, and there are also those who are seeking to destroy the serpent. So it's basically like a giant quest book to find this snake, which is the last of its series, and last of its kind, and it will change the life of whoever finds it, which I thought was such an interesting concept that I've never read anything like this before. I also really love the fact that the cover of the book is purple, because you don't get many purple covered ones like that. So I just really loved the idea of that book. So I got that. It's from the author Rachel Hartman, as I said before, and she wrote the Serafina series. I've never read that, but those are the first 3 books are there. I'd never read those books, and I've never read any of Rachel Hartman's books, but this book looked really interesting, so I thought I would give that a go. What else do I have in here? The next book I have in here is, whoopsies, you've fallen down. The next book I have in here is something that I've wanted to read for a while, and it was something that I wanted to read based on a book YouTubers reviewing it, and I thought it sounded excellent. And that book is You've Reached Sam. Ironic? Is it ironic because my name is Sam? I don't know. Basically what this book about is we have our main character Julie here, and she and her boyfriend Sam are planning to go away on a trip to Japan and attend college there. But just as she is getting ready to leave with him, she finds out that Sam has mysteriously passed away, and she is now stressing. She has no clue what to do, and she's just panicking, and she's so and she just wants more than anything to hear his voice again. So one day she calls his mobile phone just to hear his voice on the automated messaging, but she's surprised to hear Sam pick up the phone. So it's kind of like a mystery. It's kind of like a mystery. It's kind of a mystery. Is Sam alive, or is someone pretending to be Sam? So I thought this looked really good. It's by the author Dustin Tao, who I've never read anything before. Just thinking, yeah, this just looks like a really interesting book. It's not something it's not something I would have ever thought of reading, but I don't know, just the concept of it sounded really good, and from the YouTuber that I watched, the way he described it just sounded really interesting. So I'm curious to see if I can go on Julia's journey with her and try and work out why Sam is still alive. The next book I've got is from an author called Youve Blake, this is a pen name for an author who wrote on TikTok, and the author's name is Alexine Farrell Fulmuth. So basically, this book was, I think she wrote it and released it on TikTok or something, because it says the must-read TikTok sensation, and it is the Atlas 6, which is basically a group of magicians. So basically, every 10 years, every 10 years, 6 magicians are invited to compete for this prize, which is a place in this really secret society. And then we have our characters Libby, Nico, Parcia, Rena, and Callum, and Tristan. And they all have these really unique powers. And basically it's set out over the course of the year, and they have to prove that they are worth of getting a spot in this society, which is the Alexandrian Society. And I don't know, the book just looked really interesting. The little line on the back, which got me interested in the story, apart from the blurb, was 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. And I don't know, I just thought it looked really good. I like this kind of like planety eye orbit. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I just really thought this looks cool. And also really liked here, 6 are chosen, only 5 will walk away. So that makes me think that there's also a bit of a murder or sacrificial bit to this as well, or something happens and one of them doesn't make it. This just looks really interesting. And it's something I've never really considered reading, but I've seen it. Yes, it only came out this year. It came out a couple months ago, and I have seen it since it came out, but I never really was interested to read it. So then I walked. I think mainly because I just saw the title. I was like, I don't know, but But today I walked into Kinokanoi and I picked it up. I don't know. I just wanted to see what it was. So I read the blurb and I was like, yep, sold. I also really love the kind of long. I also love in books the smaller font. I don't like really big font in books, which is kind of the font I've got in the book I've got. At the moment is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Susanna Collins. I can say that because it's behind me. But yeah, I really love this smaller writing style. I don't know what it is, just something really attractive about it. And also what this book does really well, I think, is this book has images every few minutes. I don't know who this character is. I don't know which character that was. I think that might have been Parcia. I think this is Parcia. I don't know yet. We'll find out. But that just looks really interesting, and I wanted to give it a go. The next book I have is the book that I've been wanting to read for a long time. basically since I saw the trailer for the movie, which looks fantastic, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing. Now, for the longest time, I didn't know how to say this. I always thought it was Where the Crawdads Sing, but no, it's Crawdads, which I thought that's a strange name, but yeah, Where the Crawdads Sing, which is now a movie starring, I want to say Daisy Edgar Jones. I think that's her at least. Tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this book just sounds like a really great concept. So basically, it's a girl called Kaya, and she lives in the marsh, and therefore the town has dubbed her the Marsh Girl. And basically what happens is this boy, Chase, he comes across her in the marsh. They kind of have like a few fun days together. And then one day, Chase is found dead in the marsh, and the town and the cops suspect I keep to say Kyra, well, they're mixing Lyra and Kaya. No, Kaya as being the main murder. And so basically she needs to try and prove to them that's not what happened. So she needs to try and convince the town that's not what happened. But yeah, I'm really, really interested to see this. I've seen this in so many bookshops. The library at my TAFE has this book, and I've always been tempted to read it, but I've always wanted to read it. And when I walked into Knockanoy today, I was hoping they had it. I looked in the fiction section, I couldn't see anywhere. I basically looked all over the shop, and then I found it like right at the front. It was kind of hidden behind some other books, so you would never notice it was there. So I picked this up today because I thought it looked really, really cool. So that's why I've got that book. Okay, we're getting through it slowly. The next book I have is a Colleen Hoover book, and I've already got one other Colleen Hoover book, and that one is Ugly Love. And I wanted to pick up another one of her books just to see if I would like that one too, just as much as the first one when I read it, which I haven't read it yet, but it is on my list. Yes, and that one is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And what drew me into this was the cover and the colour. Like, I know it sounds sad, but the colour. But yeah, just the kind of like shattered rose effect and the pinks. Like the pink matches my nails, which I think, the pink matches my nails, which I think is why I picked it up, because it's just so interesting to me. But I think also what sounds great is just the plot of the story. So basically we have Lily, she's never had it easy, and that's never stopped her from getting what she wants, and she's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she's grew up. She's graduated from college, she's moved to Boston and started her own business. And then she meets a neurosurgeon, Riley Kincaid, and everything always seems too good. And we have Riley, who's assertive, stubborn, and arrogant. He's brilliant and sensitive, and he has a soft spot for Lily. But Riley's completely averted, I think that's how you say it, to relationships, and he finds them really distracting and disturbing. And then as Lily goes deeper into her past, she's asking herself questions about her previous love, Atlas. Yes, Atlas Corrigan, and a link to her past. And then when he suddenly reappears, everything that she has built with Riley falls apart. So I think that Colleen Hoover, I haven't read the book yet, I haven't read Ugly Love yet, but I think that her kind of take on her stories are really cool. So I'm really excited to give this one a go alongside her other one. I think this is going to be really, really good. Not long now. Okay, the next one I have is this book by Sonia Mara, and it is The Darkening. And I really love this book. I just thought this looked really, really cool. And this looks really, really cool. And really cool. I'm going to point this out. I've just noticed, and I'm not sure if you guys have too, but pretty much all the books I've picked up today are either purple, pink, or black. I don't know why. I think it was just random that I picked up books that are all purples and pinks and blacks. Yes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe I'm drawn to the colour pink and purple, which I am, but I don't know. Weird. Anyway, yes, this book is The Darkening by Sonia Mara. I've never read anything by this author, and this looked really, really interesting. It was in the Fiction Centre, and the story is basically we have a prince, and he was born to protect his people from the storm, which is a deadly force that's surrounding his world. And then we have our character, Vespa, great name. She's the daughter of a failed revolutionary, and the queen has sentenced her mother to death by the storm, which I assume means she put her in the desert. I'm not sure, working out. And then she and her father have been on the run ever since then. And then when the Prince Dalka is out on patrol, he runs into Vespa's father and Vespa, and then she would do whatever it takes to stop him from figuring out her mother's fate, or she would do anything to avoid sharing the same fate as her mother. And so would do anything, so she arms herself with her father's book of magic, which is experimental, and she just experimental magic. She tries to infiltrate the palace, and she tries to infiltrate his heart. And then she learns that there was actually more to her mother's death than she previously thought. So she has to trust the prince in order to work out what happened to her mother. So I kind of really like that aspect in the sense that it's I love that sense. Sorry, I can't speak. I really love that concept. I love the fact that I love that concept. There are a lot of stories or novels out there that have a similar concept, but I think what's different about this concept is the fact that it's a daughter and a mother. Like most of these concepts, when you think about it, it's a brother and a brother, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend. You don't really get it's very, very rare that we'll get a mother-daughter kind of trope like that. So I think that was very, very interesting. Also, the name Vespa, it drew me into it because I've never read a book with the Vespa character before, and I just thought that name really, really intrigued me, and was like, Vespa, I want to see what that's all about. So I think that's why I got that, mainly because of that. But I'm excited to read that. Don't worry guys, we're almost there. So the next book I got is a sequel to Chloe Gong's books. What is it? These Violent Delights. Yes, These Violet Delights. And it is by Chloe Gong. So I got the second book, which is Our Violent End. It basically follows on from Roma and Juliet's story, which, yes, is basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but I think it just sounds amazing. So it's basically a follow-on from that story. I don't know much about the story. I haven't read the first one yet, but basically it says, after sacrificing her relationship with Roma to protect him from the feud, Juliet has been a girl on a warpath. One wrong move and her cousin will step in to usurp her place as the Scarlet Gang's heir. And then we have Roma is still reeling from Marsh's death, and his cousin Benedict will barely speak to him. Roma knows it's his fault for letting the ruthless Juliet back into his life. And then basically we have like a monster element comes into the town, and they have to work together to save him, or to save the town. I think this is a really cool concept. I haven't read anything else by Chloe Gong. I do have the first book, but I haven't read it yet. It's on my to-read list. But yeah, this just looked really, really interesting to me. And again, we kind of have that again, we're kind of going for that like burgundy purple vibe. That was unintentional. I did not mean to get all kind of purple books. I don't know, just for some reason that happened. But this book just looked really, really cool. I also love the fact that, once again, it has kind of that smaller writing, which I really love. And I just love these kind of smaller ones. And I'm just curious to see what this is like. You won't believe me, but we're almost done. There's more. These next books, next books I have are actually a series. So I got all 4 books in the series. And I know what you're thinking. Why would you get all 4? Why would you not just get 1? I wanted to get all 4 because that's just who I am. I'm stupid like that. And that series is the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. Once again, I've never heard of this author. I've never read this book. I just thought it was kind of cool. And the concept of this is basically that there's a girl who's been... Is that the first one? Sorry, this is the first one. The first one is Guild. And then we have the second one, which is Glint. And then we have Gleam as the third one. But this concept does look really interesting. Basically, it's the story of King Midas, but retold. And it was the Golden King with his palace of riches, and me, the girl who turned to gold. No one can get in apart from him, so she's locked away. King Midas rescued me from the streets. He gave me food, shelter, and his heart. I promised to love him, but when war comes to the kingdom, a deal is struck, and I'm at the heart of the bargain, and everything changes for the girl. I still don't know her name. It wasn't in the blurb, but I just found this really, really interesting, and I just thought that this looks like such a cool idea. I also really love that on the chapters they kind of have like branches in a bird cage. That's just kind of cool. I don't know if that's the same. It is the same for all of them. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I got all of the books. So I got Guild, and then I got Glint, which is the second one, which follows after this one. Then I got Gleam, which is the third one. And I don't really know what this one is about. It just says, I was told that being confined was to keep the bad out, until I realised it was about keeping me in. Midas made me forbidden and weak. Little did he know that I would find my wings and voice which sings now. So this is kind of like, I don't know, I guess, again, it's a follow-on from that book. I don't know much about it, but that looks really interesting. And then I got the 4th book, which is massive, and it is the Plated Prisoner series, Book 4, Glow. And this, as you can tell, is a gigantic book. The only thing I don't like is that it has the massive text. But it's not too massive. And I guess it works for the size of the book. But this just looked really, really good. So this is kind of like the finale to the book. Once again, I don't know why I got all 4 books, but I wanted to. And this one, I can tell it's going to take me a while. But I also love that it's a tall book. Yeah, it's going to take me a while. It's going to take me a while, and I love it. And I love the fact that this is a tall book as well. Tall books are definitely my book preference. Like, yeah, my book preference. I don't have anything against smaller books. I think that bigger books, like tall books, look more attractive in a bookshelf, because then you have like a cohesive line. Whereas with smaller books, there is a varying size and smalls. You might have a medium, then you might have a book that's this small, or one that's this small. So it's kind of like a little pyramid like this. With tall books, there's generally only really one size of tallness. That's why I kind of like tall books. I would definitely generally go for a tall book over something like over a small book that I can't show you right now. No, I guess that's kind of Like, this is like the smallest I would get. This is kind of like the smallest book size I would get. So it's still like medium height, but I wouldn't go any smaller than this. Although some of those are pretty small. And I probably wouldn't go any larger than this, because if it's too large, then I think I'd struggle to read it. But yeah, this is something that I'm very excited about, and I cannot wait. Now, I'm very sorry that this video has gone on forever. I didn't realise it would go on for quite this long, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you stuck around, and I hope you liked it. I do have a couple more things here, but they're not from the bookshop. I don't know if you guys would want to see them in this video, because that would make it like 30 minutes, and I don't want to give you guys a 30-minute video, so I will do that in another video later. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.